Hello everyone, welcome to the stream. Gonna get started. I hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Monday night, back to the grind. Probably the same, play around an hour and 30 minutes or so. Hopefully you guys enjoy the session. Jack's gonna open here with ace 4. 3-betting is okay. I think we're just gonna go for a 3-bet here. Calling is fine as well. Pocket 3 is just gonna open against a weaker player. Against a stronger player, we can just elect to fold. Here we do flop a set, just gonna start with a small c-bet. And here we're just gonna actually check. Not the greatest flop for jacks. He does bet. We're not gonna fold yet though. Gonna call. And then we're gonna check again. King queen here. 3-betting is fine. Folding is okay as well. Here when he barrel, we're just gonna fold and putting maybe an ace, because I don't think a king will barrel the turn, and I don't ever think flush draw will bet this turn, so we're just gonna give up. Pocket 6s, open sometimes, folding sometimes. Against an unknown player who never 3-bets, we're just gonna give it to him. And here, facing a 3-bet and 4-bet, ace 7 suited is the easy fold. Under the gun raise, not gonna defend with queen deuce suited. I think queen 5 suited is too weak to do a squeeze. We can, but against a too weaker player, I wouldn't do that because they just not gonna fold that often. Against two solid regulars, we can 3-bet in a higher frequency. Calling with ace 8. Calling this bet with ace high on this flop. Prefer to have a diamond, but ace high can be the best in here. Here we're just gonna check behind, and we're gonna check behind here because he could easily have an ace. And when we check behind here, it's very likely that he bet the river as a bluff, so we get some extra equity as well. I'm just gonna actually start betting a little bit. Here we're just gonna give up. With the gacha straight draw, we're just gonna go for a small c-bet. To pick up extra outs open-ended now, gonna barrel this turn. Gonna actually barrel pretty big here for over the pot. That will make his weaker aces really hard to call. And then even if we got called, we still can hit our outs. Open-ended straight draw. Just go for a small c-bet, and then here he does check call again. We're just gonna barrel this river. I just don't see he has many hands that he can call 3 streets, even though he has a 10 kicker now, but we're just gonna go for it. Here we got check raise. Obviously we're calling with open-ended straight draw to the nuts, and we do get called. I do expect to see like weaker ace, but that's a chance we have to take against a weaker player because they're just not as capable to lay down their hands. Here, we turn top pair. We're actually gonna check behind here. Yeah, against a better player, they probably just fold an ace there, because we don't have that many natural bluff combination. Here we're just gonna go for a value bet, putting on like king jack, ace jack, something like that. This guy's a little crazy. We took a 3-bet. 7 is suited in position. We're gonna see a flop. Just gonna check behind here without much equity. Giving up here. Here facing a 3-bet, found a small blind. 4-betting is definitely okay. Actually, we're gonna go for a 4-bet here. And folding to our jam. Small c-bet when we flop trips. Diamond dust gets there on the turn. We're actually gonna barrel this turn. Thanks for the sub. Welcome to the channel. Here we do get check raised. Just a small c-bet on the flop. I don't think we are folding yet. Against that raise. Here, when the 3rd club hits, we're just gonna check. I'm not exactly sure if he would do this. I feel like he has a lot of ace of diamonds, so we're just gonna call in and see a river. And here, facing that bet, we're just gonna fold because we don't have any equity against his range. If he jam here, it would be like really gross. Hopefully just check. If he check, we're pretty much sure we have the best hand. He does bet 100. Try to think. That's just called. I think we have to call here because he can never put us on a 7 here. But he's betting like he doesn't even care about a 7, so... I think we're actually gonna fold here. I just don't think he'll take this line when he's bluffing. It's a really gross spot. I'm gonna go for call. he does have ace of diamonds. That's what I was hoping for. That's pretty much the only hands we beat. It's kind of like really close there because he's polarized really well on the river. But the reason why I eventually made the call was because like he would never put us on trips there, so a lot of time he would just think that we have like overcards and flush draw, like definitely not trips. So he probably think he can just push us off our hand. But I think that's really close there. I think half the time maybe he'll have like, I think it's really one of those 50-50 spots where he'll have some flushes there, and then he'll have some bluffs, and it's just good for us that he had the bluff there, and then it worked out for us. But I do expect to see some flushes there when he take that line. But yeah, that was a fun decision. Pretty close at the end. Just decided to go with my gut at the time, and I'm super glad that it worked out. Here we're probably just gonna check raise. Check raise. Here on this flop, we're not gonna. Not gonna bluff. Here we turn the king. I'm gonna start betting. Just gonna check here. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Here on this turn, we can start wrapping the ace. I'm gonna try to take it away. And he does call the turn. We're just gonna check the river. I expect him to have like some better kings here. Probably like pocket tens or something. Ace jack is a 3-bet sometimes, calling sometimes. Oops. Just gonna check. Check calling. Here facing the squeeze, actually just gonna fold to that sizing. Just gonna check here. And probably check calling. I don't think he has an ace here. He could have like 2 pairs, but that's about it. Probably has like jack 8 or something. Could have some kind of weird stray. We're just gonna fold queen 4 here. It's pretty close. We can have the best hand, but it's whatever. Here we're just gonna check call again. And then gonna check call. I don't expect him to bet that often here. When he bet, I do expect him to have an ace or nothing. But it's a chop anyways. If we bet and then he calls, he has to have an ace to call here. So instead of doing that, we just check it to him. So at least giving a chance to bluff. That's the only way to make more money here. We're check raising. Just a little bit, not too much. It's really no point because only an ace would call here. And then he does just fold. So he was indeed bluffing, so we do make $15 extra by playing the way we did. Because leading out there on the river is pretty pointless, because only an ace would call, nothing else would call. Oh, we flop the nuts here. That's nice. So checking to him and then giving a chance to bluff. That way we make $15 extra. Even though it might seem like really small, but it's actually pretty huge spot. If you do it like 100 times, that's like $1,000 right there. We do get check raise when we have the nuts, so let's just hope the turn doesn't pair the board, and then we're just gonna shove the turn. That's a bad turn. Now he's gonna be scared. Just gonna bet like small though. Just give like a set, like a good price to call, and then we do still have the nuts. Not necessarily the nuts. We lose to 5-6 of heart, but essentially the nuts. Just gonna jam here. I think he might flop a flush here actually. More likely a set or 2 pair. Here with the gut shot straight draw and flush draw, just gonna call. Check raising here, I don't see the reason because he has a lot of aces in his range. Probably check calling again. Mixing a check raise on the flop is fine as well. And here I do expect him to have like a... I think if he had a set, he's folding here really easily, so I guess he probably flop a flush as well. Which is kinda suck for him. Against this sizing, we can actually consider folding because a 10 might not be the greatest. If he has a king, our 10 is dead, so pretty much we have a naked flush draw, and facing a pot size bet, it's just not the greatest, so we're just gonna fold. And here, pretty good turn to barrel. We do pick up extra equity, a gut shot. I'm gonna bet pretty big here. That turn was kind of terrible, but that's a chance we have to take. Unfortunate that the turn was not as good. We do get called the second time. Now I just don't think a king would fold here. Because if he had like king jack, king 10, like his kicker become queen, so we're just gonna give up here actually. It's pretty close. Betting's fine as well. We do still be like a spade draw though. Just gonna give up. He does have spade draw, but he did pick up extra outs on the turn. Probably should just go for it, but you know, you can't always be right all the time. Hindsight 2020 that you know, now we look back, of course we should have bet, but he could easily have a king there and he's never folding. And here we're just gonna 4-bet and get it in. He only has like 120 behind. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Easy call. Stand hand. Here we're just gonna do a small c-back on a dry board. Just so you know, if you guys are chatting on Facebook, I cannot see it. I can only see Twitch chat. So if you're watching me from Facebook, please do consider come to Twitch, so that way you get 1080p instead of 720p, so it's more clear, and then you get to talk to me, and then I get to see like what you try to say to me. We're just gonna call here with ace, and then if he bets again, we'll probably just fold. He does bet fairly quickly. Just gonna fold. We're gonna 3-bet with 5s here. Normally this is a fold, but sometimes we have to mix in a 3-bet. We flop the nuts on this table against a pretty bad player. Gonna do a small c-bet. Hopefully he does something crazy. Oh, we do get check raised. He's not wrapping much. Flush draws, sets. Unfortunately, he just folded. Obviously we're calling. Not a great ace turn. Flush gets there. We don't block any spades. I actually think we're folding here. We're not really beating much against his check raise and then barrel the turn here. Flush gets there, losing 2 sets. Don't think he's barreling with just a queen. Just gonna give it to him. Not a hard decision to fold there. Like all the bluffs we beat on the flop, pretty much got there on the turn with the spade. Calling that 3-bet. Here we're just gonna check behind on this flop. We're only losing to ace king here. Actually gonna play a little raise here. And he does call. I'm gonna barrel the turn here. Checking behind is fine as well, but I just don't want the flush draw to get another free card. Defending with king jack suited. He does call again and flush does gets there, so we don't really beat anything anymore. But if you have like ace king here, he's checking as well. Just checking behind. I do expect us to lose to ace king here. Oh, he river pocket, nice. Are you serious? He check out the turn? Wow, that's just bad. That's pretty bad for his play was pretty bad. Call a check raise on the flop with nice, and then call a pretty decent size bet on the turn with 2 outers, and then he actually get there. Pretty much like in his eye, he has to think that he only has 1 outer because 9 of spades could be really bad for him as well. So it's just unlucky that he gets there, but I like everything we did. I like everything we did there. Got the money in when we had the best hand, and check when he actually caught up. So I guess he had a big stack, so he probably ran pretty lucky today. Yeah, that's yikes. Nothing we can do about that. GG. Good to be running good. This is another demonstration where you can literally play the hand super poorly and then actually winning at the end. That's just part of poker. Good for the game though. We need player like that. Just gonna fold. Totally did not expect pocket nice there, but sometimes people shocked you. Here on this flop, we're just gonna do a c-bet. And here we're just gonna do range betting. We do get dunk bet. Just gonna call. I do expect him to have a lot of ace here, but we do have a gut shot straight draw to go with our middle pair. Sometimes he'll do this with like jack of diamond, king of diamond, and now just suited diamonds, so we can still have the best hand here, so not gonna fold yet. And now diamond gets there, expecting to slow down, he doesn't, so I guess he just got there somehow. We're just gonna fold. Here flop trips. Just gonna barrel here and check the second time. I'm gonna try to bet like half the pot and should take away quite often, and we did. Here we have a gut shot straight draw. He cold call our 3 bets. Let's go for a small c bet to start. We do have backdoor flush draw, and then he check raise super big. Obviously we're folding. Against under the gun raise, kings we're gonna 3 bet. Hopefully he has a real hand. Unfortunately he doesn't. Against a pretty tight player, we're just gonna call and see a flop. Just gonna fold here. Against a pretty weak player, we're just gonna call and play a flop with our 8-9 suited. Probably check calling. Gonna lead out turn. Pretty bad river. Hopefully he just check it down. He doesn't. Here gonna go for a small c bet. Defending with his ace queen. Not the greatest turn. Pretty good for our range though, so we're just gonna keep barreling. Yeah, we do just pick it up. Even though like king seems like a pretty scary card, but it hits our 3-betting range way more than hits his, because he'll call a lot of flop with like 7s and 9s. Here, we're just gonna fold. So barreling there might be the best play, because if we check behind and then he bet the river, it would put us in a pretty tough spot to call with pocket nice. And then if our bet gets called on the turn, we can always consider just jamming the river to take it away. Here gonna go for a small c bet. Pickup got shot. Gonna bet pretty thick. Gonna bet like over the pot here. We took weaker player in the blind. We're gonna open with A6 suited. The reason we did that is because the blinds are just weak, a little bit weaker. We do get 3 bet by a solid regular. Just gonna fold. Five, so fold. Here we do get the 3 bet. Ace 5 suited. I think it's better to put in a 4 bet instead of just calling. So that's what we're gonna do. And here, facing the same situation. Against this player, I prefer just calling. Play our hands in position. Against a better player, it's easier to just 4 bet. And he does check. I'm just gonna check behind. Here we do flop top pair top kicker, but this board is not the best board for our hand. So we're gonna see that a little bigger. So king queen, ace queen. It's gonna pay to draw. Here we're just gonna fold. We do get called by 2 spots. Pretty good turn. Actually gonna barrel pretty big here. Just gonna go. Gonna go like 40 and then call his jam and hopefully he just fold. We do block the not flush draw. He does jam. Hopefully he folds so we can call. Pretty happy get it in against this guy and his stack. Unfortunately he trips. That sucks. It's okay. Losing to a player like that, we can always get back our money easier. Pretty easily. The first 30 minutes definitely hasn't been too kind for us. Getting sucked out left and right. Part of the game though. I'm gonna go for a check raise here. Gonna barrel this river. Wrapping at 7. It does work. He just doesn't have much there when he just called the turn and check the flop and call the turn. He could be trapping with over pocket or something like that, but even over pocket, it's very hard to call that over the pot bet unless it's just like a complete fish. Defending with A6 suited, unless this guy squeeze. Three betting with ace-10 offsuit against cutoff open, that's pretty standard. Never calling there. We do get 4 bets. Just gonna fold. Here facing a dunk bet, we're just gonna fold without Gasha and back row flush draw. Here gonna put in a C-bet. This guy just doesn't fold much. Our king could become king, so we're gonna just barrel this river. And he dunked back to us on the turn. We're just gonna fold. Just don't think he'll do this with just an ace. Expect us to chop. Pocket fives, we're calling to see a flop. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Here we do pick up a double gutter. I'm gonna start betting. Defending with King Jack offsuit. Do flop top pair. Gonna call. Pick up open this straight draw on the turn. Probably check calling again. And gonna go for a value bet on the river. Here against two fish, we're just gonna limp. Try to see a flop with fives. Racing is definitely okay, but I just don't think we should raise pocket fives against two calling station, because fives just don't play that well post flop unless we hit a set. But most of the time, it's just gonna flop like shit, so not the greatest hand to go after stations. Here with the Gasha straight draw on this flop, we're just gonna check behind. And we do get there, not the greatest straight. Losing to King 9, losing to Ace King. Obviously he's not gonna have Ace King here. Losing to flushes, just gonna call. Facing the overbet. I feel like we have to call. If he had a flush, he had a flush. I don't think he's playing this way with King 9. And then I feel like if he had a set, he's probably gonna raise pre-flop with the 10s, jacks, and queens. So the only hand he can have here is a flush, so we're gonna call. He has too many bluff combination. He does have nothing. Good for us. Here we do flop the not flush draw. Gonna start with the small bet. And we do just pick up the pot. Sometimes you just have to let people bluff their money away, because that's the best way to make money sometimes. But obviously that's gonna put you in a situation where it's tough to, you just have to sort out you have to figure out a lot of different situation, and then you're gonna face like top bets. But if you can do it well, then it's really profitable just letting people bluff. Here against this station, we're gonna call and see a flop. Normally this is like 100% fold, but against a solid player, just gonna put in a 3-bet. He does bet the turn. We're definitely not folding with the king. Hearts does get there. Not exactly sure we should turn our hand into a bluff. Probably just check. Does have king queen, nice hand. I'd rather 4-bet with like ace-5, ace-4 suited. Ace-8 suited just doesn't play that well out of position. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Here, definitely gonna 3-bet this guy. Defending with Jack-9, Jack-10. I'm gonna go for check raise against that sizing. Here we do pick up extra equity. Here we got 4-bet by the big blind. His range is super strong because he raised under the gun, and then we 3-bet his under the gun raised, and then he come out and do a cold 4-bet with the original under the gun raiser act behind. So he must have a real hand here. So we're just gonna fold with our nice. And here we're gonna barrel. Not the best turn to barrel. Just gonna give up. And here we do get called again. Obviously you can have a queen here, but I feel like he's having a lot of like pocket 9s, pocket 10s type of hands, pocket 8s, a lot of pocket pairs. Not exactly sure if he's gonna fold to that. Against mid 3-bet we're calling with king 9. I'm just gonna give up here actually. He does have pocket 7. Maybe he should just go for it. I think we've been bluffing too much this session. That's why we're like kind of stopping, taking a break. Probably not ideal. Here we're calling with the nut flush draw. Against this bet, 24. Here we're just gonna barrel. Pretty good turn for us to barrel. Just gonna fold. Here we're just gonna c-bet and play our wrench. Not gonna barrel this turn. Especially if our hands has no equity against a queen. Three betting against with 10A suited against a weaker player. Just gonna start with a small c-bet and hopefully just take it down. Got called by both players. Just gonna check. And here with pocket nines facing a small blind 3-bet, just gonna call and play in position. 4-betting is okay as well, but I don't like turning our hands into a bluff. Like if we 4-bet any jam, that would put us in a pretty difficult spot. Folding. 3 clubs on the board. Checking behind. And we do get there on the turn. Just gonna check behind here and then call off on river. That's a pretty good card. So the only hand that he could have here is king queen of clubs for a royal flush draw. For royal flush, just gonna check behind. I just don't see. Actually, I just don't see him having like worse clubs here, and then it's gonna call us. So I think checking behind is probably the best play. Don't think he's calling. Here with the backdoor flush draw and overcard, we're gonna start with a small c-bet. Just gonna fold ace-10 here. Three betting with queens. Oh, we do turn a set. Diamond does gets there. Here we're gonna just check behind. Gonna start betting the turn. Start with a small c-bet. Calling sevens versus 3 players. We do flop a boat. Here we're gonna bet pretty big on turn, just to charge flush draws and overcards. Here this guy started with the 7 times 3 raise. I don't know what is that. I think he made a mistake. Obviously we're just gonna 3-bet with ace king, and here we're gonna start betting. I think he just misclicked here. He probably meant to raise to 4. I'm just gonna check. Losing to pocket tens. I don't know why he didn't bet the flop. That's kind of weird. Pocket tens against 4 player on that flop is 100% a bet. Here with ace-7 suited, we're actually gonna put in a squeeze. On this flop, we're definitely gonna see bet. This guy seems like a recreational player. I do have a gut shot with the backdoor flush draw. Here we got check raise, just gonna call. Folding to this bet. Here we're gonna barrel pretty big actually. I do expect him to have either an ace or like jack of club for straight and flush draw. So we want to charge that. And then if he has an ace, he's really having like ace king here. He's almost never have ace king here, so we're chopping if he had an ace anyways, so almost never lose here. So just gonna bet big. So flush draw and straight draw has to pay. Here against this player, we're just gonna 3-bet with king queen suited. Folding here is okay as well. I don't remember playing with this player that much, but seems to have solid stats. Here we're gonna check behind with top pair. We're just gonna get it in here. This is a pretty easy jam. Hopefully we don't run into aces. Keep this, snap call, queens. We don't get there. Losing the flip. The trends continue. I think we won like maybe like 2 or 3 flips in the past 15. So when it comes to flipping, we're pretty bad luck for the past 2 weeks. We are running 12 buy-ins behind EV this month, but we still managed to be up like I think around like 10 buy-ins, which is pretty good. Like we're running like 10 buy-ins, like 12 buy-ins behind our EV, and we can still be up like 10-12 buy-ins, which is pretty good. We're definitely doing something right. Just hope that I'm gonna start running better soon. Just gonna call here. I'm gonna lead this turn. And here we're gonna put in a 4-bet and get it in. We do flop top set. Here we're gonna check it to him so he can bluff at it, because he has all the busted flush draw here. He does just fold. Here against a solid player, we're just gonna barrel. An easy call. There's 10. Oh, we get sucked out again. Oh boy. Flopping the nuts and get sucked out. So that guy called 4-bet with ace-10 of clubs. Interesting. No wonder he had a fish tag, so I'm not like too surprised. He does have a gosh shot and flush draw, and then he gets there. Just nothing we can do there. Just gonna continue the trend. We're running pretty bad, but that's okay. Things gonna turn around eventually. Not to worry about the variances. Here we're facing a dunk bet. I'm gonna put in a raise. Not gonna see bet this flop. When he checked the second time, we're gonna try to bet and take it away. Facing a 4-bet, just gonna jam with ace king. Hopefully, better luck this time. Good luck to us. Facing 3-bet here as well. Obviously, we're putting a 4-bet. Here we're just gonna do our range betting. We have all the ace king, king queen. It's not a good turn to barrel. Just gonna shut down. And here we do get called. Just gonna start with a small c bet. Calling the jam. Can we hold this time? We can, finally. I feel like we have to have like we have to have like at least 80% favor to like not get sucked out in July. It's kind of brutal, but good thing is that we do get it in as the 80% plus favor more often than a flip, so that's why we're still managed to be up. So yesterday, last night, I played off stream, and then we were actually we ran aces into we ran kings into aces 2 times in 1 hour session, which is pretty sick. We're still able to up like 5 buy-ins though. Here we're gonna check behind. Not gonna bluff this guy. We do beat flush draws. So ace high could be the best hand here. Against that sizing, we're not folding. He does have a pair. Nice hand. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Three betting with nice against cutoff open. Pretty good flop with nice. Just gonna start with a small c bet. And here we're just gonna check. Gonna check again. Check it down. I feel like ace high can be the best hand here. Gonna go for the call. I think ace high is the best hand here actually. He did river us. That sucks. Just gonna check this and just give it up. It's a pretty bad flop for our hand. Folding to that bet. We do get 3-bet by the small blind. Pretty solid player. Ace-10 suited is pretty close. 3-betting is fine, folding is fine as well. Here we're just gonna bet the turn. We can 4-bet. Calling is fine as well. We're actually gonna go for a... Actually just gonna call because we're a little bit deeper, so I don't want to 4-bet and then facing a jam. Just gonna check. Calling that c-bet. One of the worst turn. Check calling again, and gonna lead out this river. And here we're gonna call again. He could still have like pocket nines, some random hands. Facing the third barrel, it's really small. I think he has like ace queen or something here. I honestly do think that we get sucked out again. Because he wouldn't play this way, I don't think. Obviously with not calling this, we don't beat much. Here we do face a jam, so... we're folding. He's almost always have a flush here. Kinda suck, but easy fold. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. I'm gonna do a small c-bet without not flush draw. And we do turn an ace. Definitely gonna barrel this. I'm not gonna use our overbet sizing, just like 75% pot. Hopefully that king queen and king jack can continue. Hello, Bawinja, what's up? Welcome to the stream. Pocket aces blind versus blind against high player. I just expect him to fold all the time. Here, on this flop, we're just gonna go with the small c-bet to begin. We do get check raised. He can be doing this with any type of random hands. We do have a king of clubs, so which is good. We are calling this bet, probably calling the river. He could obviously have a set here or flop straight, but the club does get there on the river. He does bid pretty big. That actually led me to believe that we're actually losing here. I just don't think he will bet this river without like at least a straight. Most likely it should be a flush because we have all the flush draw in our range. We're actually gonna fold here because he just have like have a flush here way too often because I don't even think he's betting a straight. Kind of suck, but nothing you can do. Folding is the correct play. Check calling the flop. I'll probably check calling again. He does use a pretty big sizing. Against that sizing, we're actually just gonna fold. Three betting with sevens. Folding is obviously fine. If I decide to play against a weaker player, I'll three bet. Almost never just call, because we get squeezed way too much if you just call. We do flop the boat. I'm gonna start with a small c bet. And here, facing a 3-bet, I'm gonna put in a 4-bet and get it in. And here we're just gonna call. I'm gonna bet really small again, and then and we're jamming the river. Check calling this, and I do expect him to just check back here. He does have a better ace. Raised in 3 bets. We just have to fold sixes here, I think. Really wanted to call, but it's just not a good spot. King Jack offsuit there against under the gun raise. Sometimes I fold. It's not like a default thing that I always call, because King Jack offsuit doesn't play that well against under the gun raise range. Defending with ace-9 suited. Gonna bet small on the turn. I do expect him to overfold here. He does call. 4, 5, 6. I think a bet like pot should probably take it down. And we do take it down. Here, on this flop, we're probably just gonna check behind. Hello, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Just gonna check and try to check it down. Pretty good river. And we do just win the pot, which is good. Defending with 6s. And we do flop another boat. Hopefully we get some action this time. Against that sizing, we're actually gonna do like a small check raise. Not small, but definitely gonna do something just in case he has a queen. He does 3-bet us. This raise doesn't necessarily mean that he have a queen. He can be doing this with a lot of other hands, which is gonna. I'm trying to think of just putting a 4-bet and then just get it over with. Actually, we're gonna raise again and then see what he does. Because I don't like just calling, because if he doesn't have queen here on the turn, and then we just have to check, and then he'll check back a lot. Just gonna fold here. I think we just go for a $40 sizing. So this sizing, if he had like ace king of heart, I think he's still calling. I mean, he should fold, but I feel like this, he does fold. So basically he doesn't have a queen there. So if he doesn't have a queen there, and if we just call the 3-bet on the flop, like on the turn we check, he's just gonna check behind. And then it's pretty difficult for us to get value. So I decided to just 4-bet small, and then just bet small on the turn. If he had a queen there, he's jamming the turn. But unfortunately, he doesn't have a queen, so I'm still pretty happy with the amount of like. We still won like a decent pot. Here we're just gonna check behind with mid pair. And facing that small bet, we're just gonna put in a raise. And here we do have 2 pair, gonna start betting. We do lose to queen jack though. Here we're putting a 4-bet with pocket tens. Here we're gonna go for another street of value. However, if we do get raised on the river, we are folding. We do get called. Just go for like small c-bet, and if it gets called, we just shut down. I don't think he has h-jack here. I actually do expect him to check back quite often on this turn. Against 2 players, we're seeing a flop with queen 4 suited. He does check back. Here, pick up flush draw on the turn, which is gonna bet and try to take it away. Here, I do expect him to have like ace queen here, which we don't beat. We're just gonna check. And hopefully, he has like pocket nines or something, and just check behind. He'll put us on like ace king here, and then I don't think he's gonna bluff that much. And he does just check. I think he has like pocket nines, pocket eights, something like that. He has king 6 all suited. Damn, that's kind of loose. Maybe because we're deeper, but still, like that's kind of loose to call a 4-bet with king 6 suited. A good thing he didn't bluff us though, because if we bet the river, we had to fold. So pretty happy with the result. Not gonna complain. If you guys have questions about any hands, like any hands that I played, just feel free to ask in the chat. The stream is about like 3 to 4 minutes delay, so I might not actually see your question until 3 minutes later. Defending with 10 ace suited. Here obviously we're 3-betting with ace king. Pretty good flop. Check calling with mid pair. Here we're just going to go for a small c-bet. I do expect him to have like queen jack here. When he bets, he has something more, because I think queen jack is checking back. So I guess he could have like king queen here. As that's, we're definitely not calling that though. We don't beat anything on that board. Pocket fives, sometimes open, sometimes it's a fold. I'll say like 50-50. It's not like default always raising. Under the gun, I'm talking about ace queen offsuits open on the cutoff. Here we do get 3-bet. We're just gonna call and then see a flop here. Small c-bet. Here against this less than 3x 3-bet, we're just gonna call and try to flop a set. We don't. Against this bet, we actually just gonna. I mean, calling is okay, but just gonna fold. Here, when he check on the flop, I do expect him to have like a lot of ace king, ace queen, so we're actually gonna go for like a small bet. That's gonna put ace king, ace queen in a pretty tough spot. Not the worst turn. And now it's just a decision whether we want to bet this to deny equity of from ace king, or we want to check behind, because he could have like pocket 9, pocket 10s here as well. We're actually just gonna bet, because he could still have a lot of ace king, ace queen here, and then we do just pick up the pot. So we deny equity against that, and then even if you have like, I think pocket jack, it would be a pretty easy decision to just call. But if he had pocket jacks, I think he's betting the flop, so I think his ace king, ace queen is pretty faced up there, and then we just have to bet the amount that ace king, ace queen will fold. Definitely don't want to give him a free card. Folding. I'm gonna put in a 4-bet here. Calling with ace high. Just gonna fold. That's a pretty bad turn. Here on this board, we're not gonna see bet. He just doesn't fold much, connecting with his calling range way too hard. Defending with ace jack off. Calling it. Here we're gonna start betting a little bit. Defending with jack 10 suited. Probably check calling this flop. I'm gonna bet the river for value. And we turn our open-ended straight draw. Gonna check. Probably check raising here. And he does check behind. I'm just gonna try to bet and take it away. Obviously he could have a queen. Good thing that he doesn't. If he has a queen, then it's an easy call for him. We're gonna check behind with top pair here just to balance our checking range a little bit. Turns another club. Gonna start betting. Defending with ace jack. 3-betting is fine as well. Check calling with gut shot straight draw to the nuts. Folding to the barrel. We're not folding to the 3-bets. Pretty bad flop for pocket fives, just gonna check fold. Here against this guy, we're just gonna start with a small c-bet. Pretty good card to barrel for us. Here we're gonna point a 4-bet actually. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. And we're gonna go for 3 here. Actually, that's not really a good card to. Just gonna give up because he has a lot of jacks here. Gonna go for a small c-bet. Yeah, she just have way too many jacks here. If it's like another 3 or 5 or something like non-relevant, then we can barrel the river. But jacks is like one of the worst card. Just a bad river. Any other river would probably just barrel off. And I don't expect him to call. Still have 103 player. Here we're gonna check back with the mid pair. Gonna put in a 3-bet here with ace jack suited. Calling is fine too. I'm gonna start betting a little bit. He has all the king 10 here, ace 10. Just gonna charge it. That's kind of like one of the worst river. Hit a lot of his calling range. Just gonna check back, and then I do expect him to hit the king a lot. Jack 6. Okay. Here with 5-6 suited. Just gonna fold. We can go for the 3 bets, but decide to fold there. Just gonna check this flop. Check folding. We're gonna defend with Jack 10. Against under the gun raise and the button 3 bet, Jack 10 suited is just a fold. Here we check calling. We do pick up extra gut shot. We do have trips. I'm gonna start betting. Hoping he has a king. 10-9 suited. We're gonna see a flop. We do flop bottom too. Gonna go for a check raise. Hopefully he doesn't have queen jack. That would really suck. Ace 4. Here we're just gonna bet the turn, hoping that he has king queen, king jack, ace king. Pretty good run now. Just gonna jam the river. Obviously he can have queen jack here. He can have pocket kings, but he has more ace king king queen here than that. So we're just gonna go for it. And good thing he folded. As long as we don't get snapped there, we should be good. Here we do get 3 bet again by the same player that just 3 bet us in the blind versus blind situation. I think we just fold here. Queen 10 suited plays a little bit worse. I'd rather have like 9-8, 10-9 suited, that type of hands, so we get dominated less often. Gonna start with the small bet. And just gonna barrel because he has a lot of draws. 6-9, 9-10. And we do just pick up the pot. That's nice. Pocket 3 here. Racing if it's blind versus blind. Defending against button open. That guy's a little bit crazy. Check folding. I'm not exactly sure if we're up or down. I think we're losing a little bit right now, but pretty positive our EV was like +2 buyings at least, I think. Been running pretty bad. Pocket 7 here, we're gonna put in 3 bets, especially against this player who's pretty deep. Pocket 7 auto position against 2 players is just never good, and then especially if we just call big blind might very much squeeze, and then we'll be forced to fold. Using a bigger sizing because we're a little bit deeper. Flop top 2 pair. Here we're gonna do a small C bet. Here we're gonna bet. He does put in a 4 bet. With only 141 behind, I'm not sure if it's worth it to call. 330 more. 30 more to win 90 plus. I guess it's worth it to try to hit a set here. To win 32 to win 230. 230. Pretty close. Pretty close. Just gonna fold here. One of the worst flop for aces. Gonna go for a check behind here and then try to get 2 streets of value. Against 2 players, we're just gonna call and see a flop. Do flop middle pair. Gonna start with the small bet. Hopefully we're the only one with the spade, and we are. I'm gonna go for a 3 bet with pocket 7s. Folding is okay here as well. I just never like calling. Here we do get 3 bet by a pretty crazy maniac. We're just gonna call. This guy cold call. I'm gonna think that he has like some kind of pocket pairs. Just gonna call and see a flop. We do flop mid pair. This guy 3 bets so wide, so I'm not even like sure what his ranges are. But good thing that that's a pretty bad turn. Just gonna check it to him. I mean, this guy 3 bet like 60% of the time, even though like it's very small sample size, but we're just gonna fold here. We don't beat nothing. Oh, I'm gonna call. Gonna call again. Probably call it off. We're just gonna check behind. There's no reason to bet this because pretty much we have the best hand. If he has like pocket 10s and plus or ace 9 and plus, he's gonna barrel this river. We do have the best hand. Ace hand's pretty faced out once he checked the river. If he has like ace 9, pocket 10s plus, he's definitely gonna put in a third barrel, and we probably fold depending on how big he bets. Here we got 3-bet by small blind, king queen suited. We're definitely gonna defend. Putting a 4-bet is okay as well, but I don't like doing that play because our hand plays too well post flop. And if we just 4-bet, it's very likely that he just jam, and then we just have to force to fold our king queen suited. This is a pretty good flop for our calling range. He checked. We're gonna start with like small c-bet here, like a small bet. So ace king and ace queen can fold. That's gonna be a huge win for us. He does called. I'm gonna barrel pretty big here on the turn. Hopefully he just fold. He can play like jacks and pocket 10s this way. Good thing that he just folded, so we don't have to hit our hands. Always nice. Here against the we're deeper. We're gonna raise a little bit bigger. Blind versus blind. This guy is pretty tight, so when he raises, I do expect him to have a real hand. Just putting a 3-bet. Here we do flop 2 overs and the nut flush draw. I'm gonna start with the c-bet, small c-bet. Not really worried about getting raises here. We just have a really strong hand here. We don't get there on the turn. I'm gonna barrel pretty big here on the turn actually. And we do just pick up the pot. That's nice. It's always good that somebody folds, so we win like 100% the time. Here with the nut flush draw and the gut shot, we're just gonna start with a small c-bet. Here facing double 3-bet, we're just gonna call. This guy never 3-bets, being 40 times. Holy shit. So he must have like something really premium, but we're not gonna fold to that sizing. Here we're calling with king jack suited in position. Just gonna check behind here. We are gonna call. And here we're just gonna give up. I'm gonna put him on like pocket kings here, so I'm gonna bet something that pocket king will call. Pocket king, pocket queens is probably what he has. He does call. Let's see if I'm right. He does have pocket jacks, so it's pretty much the same. Pocket king, pocket queen, pocket jacks is the same here. So we do get maximum value. It's not really a hard read there. Somebody who just never 3-bet, and then with the way he played out, they just almost their pocket king, jacks, queens are pretty much faced up. That's also the importance of mixing up your range, so that way your opponent cannot, you're not playing your hands faced up. Here against the limp and the isolated race, we're gonna pop it up to 30. And here we're gonna 3-bet to 22. Not to worry about his cold calling range. Under the gun race, if he 4-bets, that will put us in a pretty difficult spot depending on sizing. He does call. We're gonna start with the check here actually. Just gonna fold here. Here we're gonna do a small c-bet. Not to worry about this guy. His range is like pocket 4s, pocket 3s. He could obviously have pocket 6 and pocket deuces. Ace, the turn. We don't have a spade. If we do have a spade, it's better for. Actually, we're gonna barrel this turn a little bit. This bet is specifically for like pocket 7, pocket 5s, pocket 4s to fold, and it does work out. So we don't have to see another spade. That would really suck for our hand. Here we're just gonna check fold. So the reason why we bet small there is because we can wrap ace king, we can wrap king queen of spades, and we can wrap all the pairs. If he has like just small pocket pairs there, he's just gonna fold. We don't have to use like larger sizing, because if we use a larger sizing and then he really had a bold or a quads or a strong hand, we just lose more money. And then so betting more doesn't achieve anything. Just put yourself at risk. Put more money at risk by achieving the same thing. So it doesn't make sense to use a larger sizing there. Here against this, we're gonna 3-bet a little bigger because we obviously playing a little bit deeper. Here, pretty good flop for jacks. We're just gonna go with the 60% pot bet. Pocket jacks does need more protection here. If we have like aces, kings, we probably check behind here quite often. Maybe small c-bet, but jacks do need more protection, so betting bigger has no issue. Here we're just gonna check back. Just don't think he's folding much. Turn is an ace. Gonna start to barrel a little bit. Not too much, just $40. I don't think stopping here when the ace hit is a good play, because we have all the ace king here, and then he doesn't, because ace king is folding on the flop. So ace is actually better for our range than his, even though like with our hands, obviously pocket jack like doesn't want to see an ace, but in a range perspective, like it actually hits our range pretty hard. here when he bet. I just feel like he had like heart or he has like absolute air. I'm trying to figure out which one is it. I just don't think you'll bet the king here like this. Just have to call. And we do pick up the pot. Because I don't think a king will play that way. And his bluff didn't really make sense. If it's a better player, like he would never play like that. But against recreational player, like sometimes they have no idea what they're doing. They call with a check call with a flush draw, and then just all of a sudden on the river they missed, and then just come out betting. It just doesn't work like that. I mean, if any good hand reader can figure it out. Checking behind with the second pair. Against weaker player, that play might work, but against like any solid hand readers, it's a pretty easy call on the river. Here we're gonna call the turn. Checking back. Expect us to win quite often. We do win. Start with a small c-bet with an ace. Probably gonna wrap up the session in like 5 minutes or so. The session started pretty brutal for us, just losing a few flips, which is what we have been doing all month in July, just losing flips. I think we're running like 12 buying behind EV. Here we're just gonna call with ace king suited just to mix up our calling range a little bit. Just calling to trap mainly, like almost never call. But against this player, he's 4 to 3 bet 90% of the time, and then he raised under the gun. I feel like sometimes we can call and then try to trap. We do flop pretty good. If he had king queen, we're gonna get like 3 streets of value. Gonna do a small bet. I expect him to fold a lot though. He does fold. Checking behind on this flop. Turn open this straight draw. Gonna start betting. Start with half the pot. And we do just pick up the pot. Nice. Folding. King queen offsuit against button raise. 3 betting is definitely a play. Okay, but here we'll probably just call. Like I like calling a lot in big blind instead of like 3 betting because I'm pretty confident in my post flop games to play out of position. Check calling with my pair. And here against that bet we're not folding yet. Here we're pretty deep. Jack 9 suited is definitely worth to see a flop. Check calling the river. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Obviously opening with aces. The game is pretty good today. Like you see all the greens everywhere, means a lot of recreational player, or just in my opinion like worst player. We do get called by 2 spots. This guy's a recreational player for sure. And then good thing that we got squeezed, because I definitely didn't want to play aces 4-way. Here actually it's gonna jam. I don't see a point of 4-betting. Yeah, we're just gonna jam here. Because playing this way, like, he'll think like we're making a play, because it does look like he's squeezing. By 4-betting, like our hand's like way too strong. He does overcall with jacks, and then we do get sucked out again. This just never ends. What can you do? That's the way it goes this month. Sucks. Continue to run like crap, but not gonna complain, because like we did the perfect play. And calling this. And hopefully we hold this time. And we do. Yeah, the reason why I went for the jam instead of just 4-betting was because like it's pretty, like it just seemed like he was making a squeeze play, and then like him knowing that, so just jamming just feel like we're making a counter play. That's why he overcalled his jacks there. Like he should. It just seemed like we have like a lot of ace king there. When we do that, when we have like aces and kings, we probably leaning more towards 4-betting. But in that spot, like he probably just felt like we have ace king there. That's why he went for the call. Just gonna fold here without a club. But we did pick up extra EV money. Hopefully we're just gonna start running a little better. I mean, we have been playing really well. It's just that. Focus. I don't know why he's complaining. If you can take the suckouts, then don't play poker. I mean, variance is just part of the game. Like I've been running like maybe like right now probably I'll stay like 15 buy-ins behind EV just in July alone. So in the past 3 weeks, running like 15 buy-ins behind our EV, which is crazy. But we're still up like 10-12 buy-ins. So I'm not gonna complain, but obviously I hope we can run a little better, but it's not the case. But eventually we do gonna run better though. It's only math. It's gonna happen, you know. Small C bet here. He does raise. If we have a heart here, we definitely continue, but we don't, so we're just gonna give it to him. I'm guessing like we probably run like pretty brutal today. In terms of actual winning and losing, I'm not even sure if we were up or down, but like our EV is like positive 100% today. Like it's no doubt about it, 100% positive. But actual winning, I'm not sure, because we did ram pretty terribly. We'll figure it out later. But running bad doesn't change the way we play the game. We still play a really solid game. As you could see, like we begin the session like running like craps, but it didn't affect the way I play. And then we do still pick up a lot of good hands here and there, and then we do get a lot of value. So pretty happy with the way we play. Like in last night's session, if we ram decent, we'll be up like 2 grand, but like 10 buy-ins. but unfortunately that wasn't the case. So we only ended up winning like 5 buy-ins. So let's see how we do today. Buy session, and refresh. We do only lose a little bit. It's pretty sick though, because our EV is like 711. Like, if we just run normal, we should be up like 700 bucks today, but unfortunately we ran like shit, so we end up losing like $70. Let's check out some of the hands we played, or some of the hands we lose. So here we lose Ace King versus Pocket Queens. That's 42% equity we lose. We have Queens flop top set versus Gasha and Flush Draw. We have 66% and we lost. Pocket Aces against Jacks. Just happened not long ago. 81% equity. And then Ace Jack here. Obviously, what happened here? Flush. Okay, here flush. Okay, that's just normal. The hand we have won, 90% equity, 80% equity. Pretty normal, but unfortunately it's kind of like a bad session because we ran like crap, but we do pick up extra EV money, so we do run even further behind. This is like overall, this is like starting from like June or something. If we just go July, we'll see, I'll show you how brutal it was. Let's just do July. Do that. And we'll see. So in July we ran like, you see that like our actual earnings like 1,000 plus rake back, of course that's about like maybe 1,000, so we are up like 2,000 for the month. However, like our EV is supposed to be like close to 4K, so we actually ran, oh my god, it's getting worse. Okay, so divided by 200, let's just say 200 is the standard buying, so we are running like close to 15 buy-ins behind this month. But I'm not gonna complain because we're still up like $2,000, even though we're running like 3,000 behind. It's just part of the game. We're not gonna complain about it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's session, and then I'll see you guys tomorrow at the same time, 9 p.m. Have a good night, guys.